This is Heathrow. Only one runway is operational and 2 of its 4 terminals are closed. But the airport is still open.
You can hear it, quiet.
Though depleted, their army of staff are ready to get passengers' bums back on seats.
It's just emotional. Good to see passengers.
Whether it's keeping the airport super sanitised or keeping the travellers suitably swabbed,
Just tilt head back a little bit.
against the odds and with unprecedented challenges around every corner,
They're fearful that the US is going to start cancelling flights.
It's been a nightmare.
Heathrow has to pull out all the stops
I hope I don't hit the plane now.
to remain the jewel in the country's aviation crown.
Amen.
Thank you.
Ensuring every plane takes to the skies,
Extremely emotional.
dealing with suspicious packages in cargo,
No matter what you try sending through this machine, we are going to find it.
and suspect passengers in the terminal,
Yeah, they've got him on the floor.
Heathrow's finest
Not straight, let me get straight.
are doing their best, whatever comes their way.
3 conversions closed at border.
Because this is still Britain's busiest airport.
Challenging, but this is the best part of the job.
It's early December. With passenger numbers back down to levels of the 1970s and 2 terminals closed, Heathrow is certainly experiencing stranger times. But with the UK's second lockdown about to be lifted, under the cover of darkness, the airport's hunting down any trace of the virus in every nook and cranny.
They're putting it inside.
This is a pretty serious job, isn't it?
Yeah. That one just to prevent any injuries.
As public toilets have been designated high touchpoint areas, one T5 cleaning manager, Stan, is preparing the site before mobilising one of Heathrow's newest and most formidable cleaners.
Just to prove that the cleaning is done, Heathrow provides us some stickers. You're going to put on this surface,
Yeah.
which changing the colors after disinfection process.
If this sticker turns a peachy colour when Stan returns to the room, viruses of any kind will have been terminated.
So you've got time, need to go outside. Starting to speak, leave the room.
Please leave the room, close the door, and start the disinfection.
Disinfection process is started.
Is it really that dangerous?
Yes, that machine is dangerous for the humans. That one is going to injure our eyes.
This is a UVC, fully autonomous disinfection robot, designed and developed to decontaminate hospitals, operating theatres, airports and supermarkets.
Machine is started and the hand dryer start to work. When the machine going to the toilets, all the toilets is going to be flushed.
Gliding to sultry strains of Sinatra, the robot shines ultraviolet light from powerful lamps. UV light comes in 3 categories. UVA and B gives us a tan, either from sunlight down the beach or low-powered lamps in tanning salon beds. UVC is the most powerful and deadly dangerous to living organisms, which is why no one is near the toilets as they are disinfected. For the virus, a mere 30 seconds exposure is all that's needed.
Okay? So this is the level enough for disinfection.
To be 120% sure, Stan swabs.
Now we're going to check the results from the area. Cross the fingers. The results are 0. So that one is a perfect disinfection.
She might not look as intimidating as Arnie, but Victoria, dubbed the COVID killer, has a 99.99% success rate. It's hasta la vista to one set of labs and on to the next, guided by Stan.
Like a normal luxury toy.
A 70 grand luxury toy. Heathrow has enlisted 4 of these cutting-edge cleaners to support the new hygiene teams as they clean the 236 toilets in both terminals every night. The war on COVID is on. With a full battery, Victoria can disinfect 3 football pitches of space before returning automatically to her docking station. And after a quick recharge, she'll be back.
Good night, Victoria. Good dreams. See you tomorrow.
As morning breaks, Heathrow will need every inch of the airport's spick and span, because today the government has announced lockdown is over and the UK is now in tears. The airport is bracing itself as foreign travel is back on the cards.
Please keep your distance and wear a face covering at all times.
Should you put your mask up, please? Ladies and gents, can we just make sure we leave a little gap between you and the next passenger, please? Just a little bit, OK?
For customer service manager Demi, it's back to a bit of bustle.
Okay, straight down the far end, zone A. No problem.
The influx of passengers isn't just because the UK has relaxed its rules. 70% of destinations around the world have eased their travel restrictions, which means people are beginning to resume their lives.
Why are you travelling today?
My family actually live in Canada, so this will be my first time seeing them since last year.
Well, my partner's in Hamburg, so I'm going to see him. Literally haven't seen him in like 3 months.
We've come from Wimbledon in South London and we're going to the Maldives.
We booked it probably like 8 months ago now, so we're very happy to hear Busiest say back to the tier system so we can get away.
Ladies and gents, can we just make sure we keep a little gap between each passenger, please? Is that OK?
In terms of the travel experience today, I mean, it's carnage. I think the staff are doing their best.
Just a little gap in between you, just a little bit of social distancing, OK?
How would you describe it at the airport today?
I mean, it is a bit busy.
It's pretty busy. That's the busiest I've seen it by far, so...
To me, this doesn't look massively quieter from usual this time of year, but yeah, it's definitely a lot busier than I expected.
When passenger demand suddenly dropped at the beginning of the pandemic, Terminals 3 and 4 were closed, and the majority of airlines moved to Terminal 2. There's now over 75, resulting in sudden swells of passengers at departures.
Ladies and gents, can we just make sure there's a little gap in between you and the next passengers, please? Just a little bit, please. Thank you very much. Pre-COVID, it's fine, it's just busy. That's the way I'd see it, it's busy. It doesn't matter, as long as there's no health and safety risk. In the new world, it's about social distancing.
It may not be business as usual for the airport, but for those who are able to travel, clawing back a touch of normal life is worth it.
If you can get away, why not? And it's also my 30th birthday. Dubai's open, plus he paid for everything. Oh, yeah.
Now that's a friend indeed. With any luck, the birthday boy and his chums will be travelling on board the Emirates signature A380, the largest passenger plane ever built. Like it or loathe it, the 853-seater flying whale, as it's sometimes called, is always a sight to behold for aviation fanatics. But today, it plays second fiddle to those allowed to travel to the airport with their cameras and logbooks.
Today at 12 o'clock, hopefully, there will be the last, I think, commercial 747 going out Heathrow, and that should be absolutely wicked to see.
We've come down to say goodbye to the iconic Queen of the Skies.
The pandemic has expedited the modernisation of many airline fleets. For BA and Virgin, that's meant the early retirement of the world's most beloved aircraft, the Boeing 747, affectionately known as the Jumbo Jet.
I haven't seen any of the other retirement flights. I didn't see BA's one, and I had to beg my dad to come today. And here we are. I'm so happy.
So I've been an aviation fan ever since I was a little girl. My favourite aircraft is the 747-400. So yeah, it's just nice to see everybody here to give her a proper send-off.
And for fellow 747 fans holed up in their Tier 3 homes, there's no need to worry about missing this historic moment. Jerry's here.
Right, here we go. Morning, folks. Something special happening today. We have GV Ross, formerly English Rose, now Forever Young, due to go out around about midday.
Jerry Dyer is a household name in the plane spotting game.
I've got the iPad here running Facebook. I've got my phone running Flight Radar. Obviously, I'm filming, reading comments out, there's quite a lot of stuff going on, you know.
As a one-man broadcasting band, Jerry beams live footage.
Easy, son, easy.
Along with a running commentary.
These things gulp 1.2 tons of air a second when they're taking off.
From airports around the world, direct to hungry aviation addicts.
We've got members from all around the world. Prague ATC, Dave's tyre shop. Good day to you.
The former car dealer / interior shutter specialist turned his plane spotting hobby into a full-time career.
Slap that one down a bit.
And is now relied upon by over 500,000 followers to capture what's going down on the runway.
That's the kind of shot we want to see coming back to Heathrow, just full of aeroplanes.
But history is calling and the pressure is on.
A lot of people are watching. You get a shot of the 747. What's that like?
The pressure for me personally, I'll lose sleep over it. She holds a very, very special place in everybody's hearts. I just want to bring the best coverage I can to everybody watching.
But there is a fly in the ointment. Air traffic control have just confirmed Forever Young will be taking off on the southern runway. But Jerry and his fellow enthusiasts are situated beside the northern runway on the other side of the airport.
OK, so 27 left for now. He tried everything. We'll try for link 13.
And with Forever Young's captain unable to pull any strings from the flight deck, let's hope the crowd have their super telephoto lenses with them.
It's going to take off from the other runway, so we're going to be pushed to see it up close. That's really disappointing, actually. Really disappointing.
Are you still going to be able to see it?
Well, we will be able to see it
over there.
But Jerry Dyer never says die.
Departures are on the southern runway today. Normally, under these circumstances, they taxi that side. The plan is, folks, I've spoken with the pilot. They're just putting the request in now to try and get that northern taxiway approach to the runway. If that works, then she'll come up towards us. We'll get to see her in all her glory. Whether it's going to happen or not, we don't know.
While the lifting of international travel restrictions has led to a flurry of passengers coming through Heathrow's terminal doors, on the whole, most have never seen the airport so quiet.
Do you guys need a hand? You sure?
But in one department, they're busier than ever.
I've got this shipment here that an agent wants to come and collect in the next 45 minutes, I've told him. So I need it done on priority now.
More than 40% of the UK's medical supplies are shipped through Heathrow. So during the pandemic, the cargo department has been constantly at it.
What time will this be finished?
They're just going to rack all these away, so in the next half an hour they should be clear, ready for the next load to come out.
Out on the airfield, it's vital these shipments get off the aircraft and into the warehouse as quickly as possible. On the delivery front line is Airworld's Dylan.
You realise with what we do how essential things are for people, and now without the people doing these little jobs, and you know, they're not little jobs no more, they are essential jobs, people need them, and maybe we needed that wake-up call for people to understand that, you know, we are all together, all connected, and we need to sort of look after each other a bit more maybe.
Cargo flights have risen from 32 to a whopping 365 per week, so staying on top of the job requires complete focus. Fortunately, Dylan's something of an expert when it comes to the mind.
By day, I'm a truck driver, lorry driver, and by night, I'm a comedy stage hypnotist. I love the mind. I love how our minds work. I love the fact that we kind of get programmed in youth, and we can change those programs, and the entertainment side is phenomenal. People come there with skepticism, and a lot of people will leave with the belief that this is real, you know, this is actually happening, this works, and it does work. It's as real as gravity. But then I go back into lorry driver mode, so you know, I'll go back into doing what I do here, and it's like picking up the cargo. But there's always that persona in the back that's, you know, hiding, embedded back there. So he always wants to jump out every now and then.
Today, Dylan will need to keep his alter ego in check as he aims to mesmerise his colleagues with nothing more than the prompt unloading of a Japanese Airlines flight.
He'll be coming in about 12 o'clock, so we're going to try and get on stand about 20 minutes beforehand to make sure we're there on time. It's really imperative that we keep to a flight schedule to make sure that nothing's slowed down from when they have the time set to take off or to taxi out.
But he'll be doing so with some unfamiliar equipment, as he's recently upgraded to a 31-ton articulated lorry, capable of carrying 5 tons more cargo than his previous set of wheels.
What's it like driving a, however long this is, 40-foot load?
It's bloody terrifying. I mean, because the Arctics are new, we've only had them a few months. I've only been driving the Arctic a few months. It's a different animal to deal with because of the way it turns. So if you turn right, it goes left, etc. Its manoeuvring's completely different. So getting used to that, that's my excuse anyway, right? Okay, so we're just pulling onto the stand now.
This Boeing 787 has 136 square metres of cargo space. That's the same size as a West End stage. Dylan needs to take all its contents to the warehouse to be forwarded on to its final destination.
Plane's just landed, chocks are on, engine's off, the light at the top stopped flashing, which means that it's safe to go near the aircraft.
With the cumulative cost of the plane and its cargo heading into millions, precision is the name of the game.
The FMCs are now approaching the doors underneath, and then as that happens, they'll start getting the cargo out of the aircraft onto the FMC. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to back the Arctic onto the back of the FMC, but one of the things you've got to be careful of is the wing tip at the top. So because it comes out like this, the Arctic needs to come outwards on the right and then come in and then gently come more closer to the FMC. So that's how we've got to be careful doing that. Unemployment for me. I'll get in big trouble.
Dylan will now need to use all his powers of concentration to manoeuvre his new 40-foot lorry into position.
Oh well, I hope I don't hit the plane now.
You and everyone else, because a replacement wing costs around £50 million. That would be a tall order to earn, even for the likes of Darren Brown.
Oh, thank you, Stuart. Thank you, thank you.
The gear on board today includes medical supplies, motor parts and smartphones. Now it's just a matter of slipping the cargo on the back of the Arctic. But there's a problem.
Ain't going in. Don't want to go, does it? Is it cold?
If the cargo can't get off the plane, the perishable goods like vaccines will be ruined.
Should still go in more than that.
The airline could also be fined for missing its departure slot.
No, straight, that's why.
It's because I've come at an angle on here, so I've straightened out. Yeah.
He's just parked at a bit of a wonky angle. Give him a break, though. Assisted parking doesn't come as standard on these lorries. So it's a quick realignment of the two-axle 31-tonner, and the cargo slips in like a glove.
There you go. Easy. So easy.
And that's the day job taken care of. Now Dylan is free to focus on his passion, hypnotising someone to cluck like a chicken at a wedding reception.
Cheers, mate.
Talented chap. Pop down to Heathrow at any point over the last half-century, and you'd be hard-pressed not to see a Boeing 747. But today, Heathrow is about to wave off the last of the British jumbo jets. The Queen of the Skies made her first appearance here in January 1970 with a Pan Am flight from New York. Shortly after, the number grew in abundance, opening the floodgates to affordable long-haul holidays for all. Virgin's love affair with the iconic jet began in the 1980s after a cancelled flight led Richard Branson to call up Boeing and rent his very own 747. Maiden Voyager was the first of 30 jumbos that the airline went on to fly for the next 36 years. But today, the cost of maintaining an ageing fleet, along with giant leaps in engine fuel efficiency, has meant that the four-engine jet is no longer sustainable. And so with a heavy heart, Virgin's affair is coming to an end.
It is a sad day for everybody here at London Heathrow to see this 747 going out.
Hoping to broadcast the historic moment for aviation fans around the world is Jerry Dyer.
There are people all over here, lots of cars here, probably more plane spotters here than there are people staying at the hotel, it has to be said.
The only problem is, Jerry and the onlookers are stood beside the northern runway, and the jet is due to take off on the southern, on the opposite side of the airport.
We have requested that she taxis up this taxiway here. It's really down to whether or not these guys at London Heathrow give the go-ahead. But anyway, back on with the show.
If Jerry can't get his request through, there will be nothing to see but the top of a tail fin.
Matty Tate confirming she's on radar. Neil Schwart, good day to you. Kevin Henry on radar. She's on the push, everybody's saying here.
I think it might be on the move.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely moving. 5 knots ground speed.
She's facing our way, so she's definitely coming out this way. That is really good news.
Getting excited?
Yeah. Yeah.
I got her. Here she comes. Yeah, I've got her.
Oh,
it's coming. It's coming.
Just a big shout out to London Heathrow for allowing this to happen. Here she comes now.
Heart is absolutely pounding.
We would have been on one, a 747, for our holiday this year, so yeah, it's just quite nice to sort of see the last one go.
So I work for Virgin, and obviously it's the end of an era, isn't it?
It's quite moving, actually, to be honest with you. Lots of people very happy she's taking this route.
There it is.
G.V. Ross, originally English Rose, renamed as Forever Young by Virgin themselves after they lost one of their very loved members of their community, Marcus Young, who lost his life to cancer, unfortunately, and also to, of course, all the other family members of Virgin Atlantic who were taken prematurely.
Virgin 847 Papa, runway 27 left, clear for takeoff, surface wind 230 degrees, 13 knots.
Clear takeoff runway 27, Virgin 847 Papa.
The fitting part of it is that the aircraft's not going for scrap, it's actually going to Atlas Air as a troop carrier in the United States. So we will, of course, at some point in time, be tracking her whenever we can.
Just run this back through at a different angle, Luke. This could be a potential IED.
Denmark's closed, Norway's closed, Finland's closed.
They're closing the borders. You ain't going nowhere. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You're not going to go to Pakistan.